as we gapped up this morning, it was already in a buy signal from Friday's close. So we had this gap up, and I wasn't chasing it here into price as it went up to the day. And on my indicators, these yellow bars mean it's overbought, and the pink bar means it's double overbought. Those are my indicators. And all of these are some new symbols, these chevrons underneath the low side here. You see those pink symbols, guys, girls, whoever else here. Those are indications of the, GTFO, like get the funds out. So be cautious of staying long if you're getting a bunch of those firing. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 of them fire. The fifth one fired, and then we also had a sell signal on this line here. So you saw the resistance right on that 401 zone, just a little bit over 401, and it sold off. So the first trade of the day was actually on this candle right here. As soon as it crossed underneath this candle, I took this short. It lost volume weighted average price, which is the yellow line here. Even though it was slightly trended up, I still took the signal. Obviously, it consolidated down here. I kept thinking it was just going to fall over. It was pushing the lower side of the volume weighted average price bands. And so I just kind of rode this out. But as soon as I started getting these signals, these are the blue bars, which means it's oversold. And then we had a buy the dip, a buy the dip, buy the dip signal, but it never followed through. We never had any follow through signals or candles on those signals. So I just, I had 2 on here and then took one off on the second fire here. I thought it was going to go, but it never did. But then when it fired this signal, that's when I got out. I flipped the trade from a short to a long. So these are the super trend type of signals. They're very similar to that that Vinny has been using for a while, but there's some customization you can do to these to have them a little more sensitive. And there's different exponential moving averages. And so I'm going to eventually make some videos on how to customize these scripts so you can configure how aggressive you are on those different things so that you can know if, hey, I want to be super aggressive and I want to scalp just a little bit here and there. I want to see every little signal. Or do you want to have a little more conservative approach to where it's not firing signals every single time? So what I have it set up to is kind of a moderate in between those. And so you can see today the buy and sell signals, but I use these things in combination. So I look for pink and then a red signal, boom, short. Okay, so I had the buy signals right here, boom, green. So I took the long. As soon as it got near volume weighted average price here and this previous resistance line, I've mentioned in the room that I'm taking profits. I almost top ticked this when I said that. I don't always let it get up to the threshold because it may reject before then. So then I took one trade short here. And what was interesting is this right here. These little diamonds really showed me that it's on a squeeze. It's an easy way to see a squeeze on my new indicators. And so it was squeezing, but it didn't have muster. It didn't just fly through with volume and everything. So I actually took one short there for a little bit, did hang on to it very long, and it flipped long. And I took this one. So it was really 1, 2, 3, and 4. It was 4 for 4, and I posted that in the room. And when it got up to volume weighted average price again, same area of resistance it got rejected before, I got out, and then I got into a short, so it was 5 for 5. But for some reason, I got out of this one too early. I don't know why. But a 5 for 5 on the trades, on the signals, it was perfect. So I just kind of wanted to show that. So that's how I use this intraday. And I just use volume weighted average price. I use these pivot points, and down here below, I have a multi-time frame trend. So you can see exactly when the 5-minute sold at 9:35 my time. And then 11:30 was the buy, back to a sell on 12:20, and then back to a buy at 12:50 or so, and then back to a sell at, just after 1 o'clock. And then it was on a sell signal the rest of the day. So that's kind of like the gist of how I use it intraday. So I just kind of wanted to show you that. And then if Vinny's talking here, he wants me to show the market muscle. Another thing I use in this is a cumulative tick model that I've created. It just uses a 0 point to start the day. So all day today was a positive cumulative tick, but you can see the trends, how these arrows kind of help you with pivots And if you go back and look at the timing of these pivots, they will be dead on the times for where those buys and sells almost were. And then here is the market muscle. And the market muscle started off in the highest zones possible today, was rising into it, but then started to fade. And so this is where, when it started to fade and had these pivots and I had the signals, that's when I took it short, because it can't always muster this much strength. This is super strong. It always can't keep that. If it can't keep that, a lot of times it'll fade all the way into the black. So you hear me say green to black, don't look back. It's dangerous when it's losing these levels. And each of these levels are very, very important to how I look at stuff. I look at it from perspectives to coming from one level to the next and then testing that level. If it holds that level and goes, that shows how strong it can be. But it just kept fading today. So you saw that in price action. So I'm testing something down here. This is something that's out of the box, the advanced decline cumulative average and NYSE. I'm testing that down here on my screen. It's fairly slow to react, but it just showed buying all day. Which actually this kind of showed you that too, that it was a higher side on the cumulative tick. It wasn't much. I mean, this is only 1600. This scale really goes to 10,000. So if you compare today's cumulative tick, and this is the Q cumulative tick, you compared it to Friday, look at both of them just going down minus 10,000 and minus 20,000 on the Qs. So you can kind of compare the day. This wasn't a super strong day. So there's that. There's cumulative tick. I have here just a version of VIX. I think everybody has that. But this is something a lot of people don't have. I have this breadth indicator. It shows me historical price action on the breadth of the market as it goes through the day, intraday model. And then here's your grid. And this is the buy sell for today. And if you look at just, these are comparing the top and the bottom are two different versions of the same indicator. One is using a different exponential moving average than the other, but they're pretty close to the same. And if you just look with your eyes where we were green, where we went red, where we went green and red, it's finished the day. That's the exact market flow of the market. So this is meant to be not necessarily just for scalping, but to show you the intraday model of the big boys. So if Tesla, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, Netflix, Google, Amazon, Apple are all selling, you got a huge headwind. You're not going to be able to make headway if all of them are selling. If you look here, almost all of them are selling. Tesla was the only one that had a sell, and then towards the end of the day, hit a pivot, and it was on a buy most of the day. So that's the only one. The rest of them were fairly choppy back and forth. So that's a highlight of that.